What's up, guys? It's too hot. Okay, so got something to show you. Project I teased about, excuse me, before, and this is something that I have wanted to work on for a long time. It's always been at the bottom of my list, though, kind of get to it when I can. Not because I didn't think it was important, just because for where I was at and what's going on, I had other things of higher priority. What is it, you might say? We'll get to that. As I alluded to in the teaser video, you know I've done a couple of my poor man's guns, right? The poor man's area denial weapon, or as I like to call it, the squad semi-auto weapon. My poor man's DMR. I like being able to take things and get a little different use out of them than what most people are thinking of, and also maximize the versatility, but even more so maximize the money and the expenditure. What am I getting for the money? How can I spend the least amount of money possible and accomplish the most of what I want to in my goal? Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to spend money to get things. It just depends on what your goal is. And oftentimes, we get told by various entities that you can't accomplish a certain goal unless you expend X amount of money. And I have found oftentimes that to not be true and not be the case. And the reason being is because of the context in which those people are saying or doing it in, or hidden ulterior motives. So, with that all said, let's dive into it. I'll show you what I got. We'll go over a few things and then I'll go from there. So what I put together is a poor man's sniper rifle. Okay? That's what this is. That's what I'm calling it. Now, what classifies it as that? I'm glad you asked. So, what this gun consists of is a stripped Palmetto State Armory lower, a Palmetto State Armory upper and build kit, primary arm scope, and Aero Precision mount. So let me go over everything real quick. The upper is one that has one of Palmetto State Armory's 18-inch stainless 1-in-7 twist wild chambered barrels. The wild chambering is supposed to be compromised in between a 223 chamber and a 556 chamber. It's supposed to be able to safely and effectively chamber 223 and 556, but with better accuracy. So, there's nothing fancy about it per se other than that. It's not a high dollar, freaking $1,000 barrel or anything like that. It's a standard kit that you can get from Palmetto State Armory. I went with the 18-inch because I wanted to strike that balance between velocity and portability. So by going with the 18-inch, by the time I get the flash suppressor on there, I'm right at that 20-inch mark, whereas a 20-inch would be that long plus the flash suppressor. And not really losing that much in velocity, okay? It's got Palmetto State Armory's M-LOK lightweight handguard. This is the one that doesn't have Picatinny rail up top right here, just at the front and the back. So you're saving a little bit of weight there. They do have these kits with the full Picatinny rail. This one, both an 18-inch and 20-inch versions of the same thing. The rest of it's just a standard Palmetto State Armory lower build kit, Mow grip, Mow stock, etc. The scope is one that I've showed you guys before. It is the 4 to 14 by 44 Primary Arms R-Grid 2B scope. It's got illuminated reticle. It's kind of like an ACSS reticle, though not exact. It's got the inverted horseshoe and chevron, but then you've got a little bit different grid as far as your holdovers and everything. And it's also in mils instead of MOA or anything like that. So, the cool thing about this is, as pictured, this is under $800 if you went and bought it all right now. When I started the project, it was even less than that. But in checking the current prices as of right this minute, it's just under $800, minus the bipod. Now, that's a Magpul bipod on there, and this is a spare Vortex flash suppressor that I had that I just threw on there because I had it. So minus the bipod, you're just under $800. What I want to find out, oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself. The mount is a slick Aero Precision mount. It's one of their lightweight mounts. Nothing fancy, no throw levers, just 3 Torx heads that locks it down. I wanted it simple but functional, right? So where this all falls in at, and I'll just read you right now, this build kit is $399 from Palmetto State Armory. That gets you the complete upper and the complete lower build kit. Stripped lower is, if I can punch the right button, stripped lower is $40. The scope is $280, and then the Aero Precision mount is $72. That's it. So minus the bipod, you're coming in just under $800. Now, what I want to find out is, what, for just under $800, what can I get? What will this gun do for me? What I'm looking for is a precision rifle that I can reach out to 250, 300 yards with a fairly good degree of accuracy. Now, I'm not looking for quarter or half MOA accuracy out of this, right? In fact, if it'll hold, 1.5 MOA, I'd be happy. I'd even be happy with 2 MOA, to be honest. But if it'll hold 1 to 1.5, that'll do what I want it to do. I'm not going to be using it in like a law enforcement setting where I might have to be doing, headshots on a hostage taker where, I've got to have that quarter MOA accuracy because I got to be able to put it through his eye socket or, whatever. I want to be fairly accurate on man-sized targets out to that 250, 350 maybe even yard distance, right? So that's kind of the context that I'm going at it in. If I can achieve that kind of accuracy, then job done. The other thing I'm going to do, in keeping this in the poor man's realm, I want to see what I can do without using really expensive high-end ammo. Now, I know with ammo, a lot of times you're going to get what you pay for. But I want to find a balance somewhere in there, and I already know what I'm going to get. I've got my eye on the ammo already. I want something better than plain mil-spec ammo, M193, M855, something like that. I want something better than that, but I don't want to have to go all the way up to like Federal Gold Medal Match or the real high-end Black Hills or something like that. I want something kind of in the middle where I can afford the ammo a little easier to practice more with it and keep it in line with the whole, cost savings that I'm doing with the gun. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to pause you right here for a second, and I'm going to add a few more things to the gun. I just wanted to show you how it is right now, what you can do stock out of the box, right? Now, as far as usability, just how you see it, you could run it. You could even run it without the bipod, because in the field, you could use your rucksack or whatever as an improvised bipod to shoot it off of. So as pictured without that, this is a shootable, usable gun in my book. I know the Moog grips work, the Moog stocks work. I don't need anything, or I don't want anything super fancy or whatever on it, okay? So let me pause you right there, and I'm going to add a few personal touches on it, just things that I wanted to have on it, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I did to it, and then we'll go from there. Through the magic of modern editing, we are now back. So what did I do? Okay, first thing I did was I added some flat dark earth Magpul Type 2 M-LOK rail covers on here. These are my preferred M-LOK rail panels. They still allow some openings for the barrel to get airflow through it, but it gives a nice grippy tactile surface in case I needed to hold it. Secondarily, I swapped out the regular Moog grip with a Magpul K2 grip. One with the K2 grip, just because for me personally, I can use the Moog grip fine. That is not something you have to change out. Again, these are just personal preference things for me, right? I like the K grip because I'm probably going to be most likely, 99% of the time, shooting this from a prone position or rested off of something. The K grip gives a more vertical orientation to the grip and not quite so much rearward cant to it. So it's a little more comfortable on your wrist than having it up like that. It puts your wrist a little more forward, if that makes sense. So I can get behind it a little easier, a little better control on the trigger. Speaking of the trigger, I failed to mention this earlier. This build kit from Palmetto State comes with their EPT trigger in it. I'm not changing the trigger. I'm not putting a high dollar expensive trigger in there. I want to see what we can accomplish with something as simple as PSA's EPT trigger, because I'm a big fan of that trigger for a lot of reasons and a lot of uses. I've got it in a couple of my guns, quite a few of my guns, and the ones that don't have it, it's on my list to outfit all of them with EPT triggers. I like them that much. So, what else? The only other thing I'm going to do is I'll change out the stock. Again, Moog stock is functional. It works. I want to put one of the SL stocks on there just because I like the geometry and profile of the SL a little bit better than I do the Moog for this purpose. So again, just personal preference. I haven't changed that yet because I don't have one here yet. So as soon as I get that, I'll change that out. Normally I like my guns greenish tones, although I have plenty of flat dark earth stuff. I went with FDE stuff on this one, with the rail panels, the bipod. The flash presser was already Cerakoted or Duracoated or something, flat dark earth when I got it, and the flat dark earth grip, and I'll probably go with a flat dark earth stock. Went with them on this one because I'm going to do the entire gun in a tan base when I get ready to paint it and camouflage it. And I found that the tan base, for what I want to do with this one pattern wise, works better as a base color than a darker OD one. I could go with any of them and make it work. I just wanted to do this one a little different because of the camouflage pattern I want to attempt to put on it using some of the primary arm stencils that I've got. So it was easier just to go ahead and have the flat dark earth furniture on there. That way when I tan it out, that'll make for a better base. If the polymer stuff gets scratched or dinged up after I get it painted, it'll still be flat dark earth underneath it. So just little reasons like that. So there you go. This is your preview on the poor man's sniper rifle. I've already kind of gave you guys an overview of the R-Grid scope. Video up on that. Go look back and you can see that. I want to see what we can do with this gun, and I want to see if we can get the kind of accuracy that I'm wanting out of it, again for the context that I mentioned, and not have to spend thousands of dollars as various entities across the interwebs would have you believe, because I've been told you can't do it. Well, I want to find out for myself. If it works, then great. You guys will get to see it. If it doesn't work, well, you guys will get to see it, and you can save your time and money and not waste it on something like this. So, I want to thank my good friend Neil over at Gun Gallery in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're ever in the southeast Georgia, northeast Florida area, you owe it to yourself to go over to Gun Gallery and check it out. Good outfit over there, good place to shop, and that's usually where I do most of my business. Got to drive a little bit to get there, but it's worth it to me. I've known Neil over there for a long time. Great dude. Tell him that John at Alpha Charlie Concept sent you, and he'll take care of you. I also want to thank Primary Arms and Palmetto State Armory for helping me out with this. I approached both of them with it, and Dimitri, if you're watching this, you're partly responsible for this, because Dimitri wanted me to check out this scope, and I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing to put it on. You know, my stuff's, scoped up, and most of my fighting guns aren't really set up to have like a 4x14 scope on there. And he's like, well, why don't you check it out anyway? I'm like, all right, well, if I have to, I'll put it on my son's bolt gun, even though we've got a arc scope on that. So I got it and got to looking at it, and I liked it so darn much, I was like, you know what? It's time to do that poor man's sniper rifle build. So I contacted Palmetto State Armory. As you know, Primary Arms and Palmetto State Armory are both supporters of the channel, and talked with them and told them what I wanted to do and what I wanted to get, and here it is. So thank you to those guys for helping out with this. Again, guys, make sure you support the people who support you. You know what my channel's about. You know who I'm talking to. You know who my audience is. It's you. You're watching this. Primary Arms and Palmetto State Armory are supporters of my channel. Ergo, they are supporters of you. So make sure you return that support to them. We have to take care of the companies that are taking care of us. It's got to be a symbiotic relationship. So again, I appreciate those guys helping me out with this and working with me. If I can do this and present it to you guys and it works as theorized, then you all come out on the winning end of it, because you can save yourself a lot of money. Again, right now we're in the theory phase. Here's the theory. We're going to go see what it'll do. It'll probably be another week or so. I'm swamped with work and family and stuff. So probably another week or so, and then I'll get out and start getting around through this. Obviously, we'll bring you guys along, get the video of it, and see just what this bad boy can do. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Keep practicing, keep preparing, stay active in what's going on in the country, keep an eye on your local politics, all the things I always usually preach about, because the local level is where they're going to keep pushing the gun control bullcrap. They're starting there and working their way up. So, keep after it. I'll catch you guys in another one.